Let me talk about something that's both incredibly fascinating and a little concerning for the US, China's hypersonic missile technology. Now, for those who don't know, hypersonic missiles are systems capable of flying at speeds exceeding Mach 5, which is 5 times the speed of sound. That's not just fast, it's mind-blowing. To put it in perspective, we're talking about speeds that generate so much heat and pressure that traditional materials just can't handle it. And here's the kicker. The US, for all its technological prowess, hasn't yet cracked the code on building these systems at scale. China, they're already ahead of us, and let me explain why. When you're dealing with speeds above Mach 5, you're not just talking about speed, you're talking about a completely different physical environment. The air compresses and heats up to extreme levels. At 5 Mach, the temperature around a missile can reach a searing 1,650 degrees Celsius, around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hotter than the melting point of iron, which is 1,535 degrees Celsius. Now imagine a missile moving at 25 Mach, like China's DF-41. The temperatures would be astronomical. Here's the challenge. You need materials that can handle these insane temperatures while being light enough to keep the missile agile. It's not just a matter of slapping some heat-resistant coating on a missile and calling it a day. The material science here is incredibly complex, and small design flaws at these speeds can cause catastrophic failures. Hypersonic missiles rely on cutting-edge propulsion systems, like scramjets or air-breathing engines, to maintain these extreme speeds. Developing engines that can operate efficiently at such speeds is no small feat. They need to be compact enough to fit inside the missile, but also capable of delivering sustained power. And sustaining Mach 5+ speeds over long distances? That requires advanced propulsion systems, which the US is still grappling with. Testing these systems is another massive hurdle. You can't just launch a missile every time you want to test it. That would be impractical and prohibitively expensive. Instead, you use wind tunnels to simulate the conditions these missiles face. But here's the problem for the US. We don't have the wind tunnel infrastructure to support hypersonic testing at scale. China, on the other hand, has some of the world's most advanced wind tunnels. They've built facilities that can simulate conditions at Mach 10, Mach 20, and even beyond. These wind tunnels consume enormous amounts of energy, sometimes as much as an entire city's daily electricity consumption, in just a single day of testing. Some of their setups, like the GF facility, can even simulate speeds of up to Mach 38 by using explosions instead of traditional methods. It's wild and frankly revolutionary. Contrast that with the US, where our wind tunnels max out at about Mach 6, and you see the problem. France recently wanted to use China's wind tunnels to test at Mach 10. China quoted them €2 billion. For Mach 20 tests, the price was €5 billion. These facilities aren't just technical marvels, they're geopolitical tools. Wind tunnel testing isn't just about the infrastructure, it's about energy. These experiments require massive amounts of electricity. To give you an idea, running a medium-sized wind tunnel for 24 hours can consume as much electricity as the entire city of Los Angeles uses in a day. China's massive energy output, 91,368 billion kilowatt-hours annually, leading the world, gives them a significant advantage here. The US, with an annual output of 45,477 billion kilowatt-hours, simply doesn't have the same capacity to divert resources to such energy-intensive projects. Let's not forget the historical context. Hypersonic research isn't new. The US led the way in the mid-20th century, with experts like Qian Shuessen or H.S. Chen. Ironically, Qian was one of the pioneers of American aerodynamics before returning to China, where he laid the foundation for their hypersonic program. His work didn't just advance missile technology, it ensured China would eventually lead in wind tunnel research as well. Today, China's edge in wind tunnel technology isn't just about traditional setups. They're innovating with new approaches, like ionized air tunnels and strong magnetic field tunnels. These aren't just upgrades, they're entirely new tools that could redefine the future of aerospace research. Meanwhile, the US is still trying to catch up in areas China mastered years ago. Let's be clear, China's advancements in hypersonic technology are reshaping global power dynamics. These missiles are not just faster than anything in the US arsenal, they're also maneuverable, making them incredibly hard to track and intercept. They're not just weapons, they're deterrents that could fundamentally shift military strategies worldwide. This isn't just about the US versus China. Other countries are watching and learning. Some, like Turkey or European nations, have approached China to test their systems in Chinese wind tunnels, but the costs are astronomical. China isn't just leading, they're monetizing their lead, turning their technological edge into a strategic and economic advantage. The US is far from out of the game. American ingenuity has overcome bigger challenges before. But catching up in hypersonic technology will require a massive investment, not just in research and development, but in infrastructure like wind tunnels and energy systems. It's going to take years, maybe even decades, to bridge the gap. In the meantime, we should be looking to innovate in other areas. Hypersonic defense systems, new materials, and alternative propulsion technologies could be our way of leveling the playing field. But make no mistake, China's head start in hypersonics is a wake-up call. It's a reminder that technological dominance is never guaranteed, and the future belongs to those who invest in it.